I know, riders, a whole video about grips for your handlebars. You're probably thinking I'm the one that needs to get a grip, but hold on tight, it's going to get wild.
Nice. Yeah, buddy. Yo. Whoa, Joe. Yeah, Joe. Mate, safe. Safe, buddy. Fair play, though.
So I love a good grip for my handlebars. I think over the years you kind of develop them maybe a bit fussy. You know, if it's too soft, too firm, too big, too wide, you get all those sort of things. And I guess I should stress as well, I ride a lot gloveless whenever I can, unless it's really cold or rainy. So that's kind of my grip is based on that experience. I appreciate some grips may work better with gloves than others, perhaps. Again, I don't tend to ride gloves very much. I'm not recommending it, my riding style. But this video, in terms of how I'll be looking at these grips, is how I get on with each of them, what I think about them, all these different grips, because I've tried them over the years, key brands. But also grips do really matter, particularly if, you know, you're finding you're getting like hand fatigue, like numbness or anything like that on long rides. That's where you need to maybe think about, certainly look at your grips first before you start necessarily doing a lot else, because that's a very easy and relatively cheap thing to do. So yeah, let's get stuck into all these major grips and how they, you know, what's good and what's not. Let's go. Starting with the Deity, that's a grip I got for my Levo 4. I don't know which one, sorry, but it's a Deity grip in no particular order. Next grip, this is a Lock-On Horizon grip. This is a really old one. I don't think they make them anymore, but I held on to it because I quite liked them, although it's getting a bit worn now. Also a DMR Death Grip 2, as opposed to the first one. Tried this for a bit, which I'll come back to. And then we've got the OD grip, ODI. I don't know which one, sorry, but it's this one. And then I've got the Bergte, I think these are the Josh Bryland. So you think these are the same grip, but actually this is the standard and this is the super soft, super tacky, slightly more expensive version of the same grip, which you think wouldn't necessarily make a difference, but well, we'll come back to those. And lastly, I think this is the Bergte Minar, Greg Minar grip, I think. Do correct me if I'm wrong. I should have probably done a bit more homework, but another Bergte grip. So those are all the grips on test, and I'll go through the ones that I like, don't like, or the pros and cons of each of them. Let's get stuck into it. In no particular order, this is the DMR Death Grip 2. When I first tried this grip, really liked it. It's definitely a good grip. The only thing is, after a while, I don't know, I kind of didn't like it so much. Feels like there's almost two stages to the grip. I'm not sure it's better than the original Death Grip, if I'm honest. Definitely a good grip, but at first I was impressed, but then I started to not like it. Hard to explain why, but Death Grip 2. I don't think you can get these anymore, but I held on to it. These were my grip of choice for quite a while. Nuke Proof Horizon lock-on grips. The only thing, metal ends, good in some ways, but get very scratched and can leave marks on things, so not the best thing there. But I liked, they're very wide, so you've got loads of platform. They're probably the widest grips I've sort of found. I did like that. The only thing I would say is they feel very tacky at the start, but as you wear them, they kind of tend to lose a bit of grip, which is why I've kind of ended up moving away from them, and I don't think you can get them anymore, which helps. So this is the OD or ODI. Again, I don't know which one, but this is a really good grip, really thin. So the thinner something is, the more you can get your grip strength proper around it. If it's really wide, so your grip is strongest, the closer it is to clamped, I guess, in that sense. So this is really good for getting a tight grip. Really, it's kind of firm as well, so it's not like squirming. Probably the only thing I would say with this grip, this is probably one of the best in terms of just giving you a really consistent, good, firm grip. I think because it's a bit thinner and it's so firm on long rides, I haven't actually tested it in that sense. This one might become maybe not so comfortable. It's the only thing I say, but can't go wrong. Really good grip, and probably one of the relatively cheaper ones as well, ish. This is a Deity grip. I don't know which one, sorry. It came with the bike, one of my bikes, but this is a really good grip. It's kind of soft, so this feels comfortable, but it's also like, it's firm. It doesn't sort of squirm under your hand. It's got the rubber end, which is way more practical. You know, you're not going to leave marks, and, you know, it's way more durable. It doesn't scratch or anything like that. And it's got this jewel, so you've got that sort of diamond at the top, and then the sort of rib pattern under there, but just really good grip. This is probably one of the best combinations of kind of comfort but firmness as well, and it's not too narrow but not too chunky either, again from my hand's point of view. So really recommend whichever Deity grip this is. Really good one.
Oh, he's off the rock there. Cheers, buddy.
These grips are interesting. So this is the Josh Bryland, I think, grips. But what's interesting is, so I got a pair, really liked them. They don't look like they're going to be that grippy, but they actually really are. And I thought, oh, I'll get another pair. And when I was in the bike shop, they had the same grip, but a super tacky, like the super soft. I think it's slightly more expensive. So I thought, oh, well, that's probably only going to be more grippy, so I'll get that. But what's interesting is, the super soft, I then tried it. It feels like it's actually squirming under my hands. It's too soft, if that makes sense. So the Josh Bryland grip in the just the standard compound, the sort of non-super soft, amazing grip, rubber end. And again, it's really got that pattern. It helps you kind of roll your wrists. Really good grip. In the super soft, not my cup of tea at all. Feels like it's too soft. It squirms under your hand, which I don't like. Yeah, same grip, but it's all about the compound, I guess.
Whoa. Huh.
Last but by no means least, the Bergte, I think this is the Minar. Do correct me in the comments. You'll be able to find it online, obviously, the Bergte grip, if you look at it. This is a really good grip, and this is a really good combination of, again, this is probably quite firm, but I like that, but it's still soft enough, and it's sort of chunky enough, it's comfortable, but you can get a really good grip on it. And again, it's still okay to roll. Yeah, really good grip. This is probably, yeah, I would highly recommend this. Very good all-rounder grip, I would suggest. And when wet, still excellent grip, I would say. In terms of picking a favourite grip, I think I'm torn between these two, the Bergte Minar, I think, and then the Deity, whichever ones. These are both like probably two of my favourite grips. Really like these, great all-rounders, tick all the boxes. The only thing I would say, these would be my two grips of choice, but in terms of the grip for, ultimate grip, not letting go, feeling just absolutely glued to your hands, probably the Odie, although I haven't tried it on long journeys, so how comfortable it is, but this is definitely the one for just absolute, death grip. So I'd probably rank the DMR towards the bottom, strangely. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is all about grips for your handlebars, but they do matter. So any comments, if you've got any favourites, any preferences? I met a rider who had two different grips at a bike park, like two different brands, one each side. There was a reason for that. If you're watching, let me know. I can't remember. It was a good reason. But anyway, love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching this week. Ride your bike. Yo.